What is up, guys? Today I'll be showing you how to change out your spark plugs on your M156 V8 engine from AMG, whether it be an ML63 like this, a C63, a E63, cars like that. If your engine cover looks like this, it applies to you. And here are the plugs you guys are going to want to use. 8 of them, of course. Here's the part number. Got them at €50, so I got that unlimited warranty. But yeah, go to dealership as well. You'll get the same things. First things first, of course, is remove all of your engine covers. First, the top cover in the front. You got to pull on the sides first. Don't crack this cover, it's pretty brittle. And of course, pull up in the middle, and the whole thing comes off like so. Next up, remove the tubing that goes to the air boxes on either side. Every car is a bit different. Plastic comes off like so. Might be a little bit tougher. I've already loosened these up beforehand, but this end clips onto the airbox. This clip to the front of the grill. Remove this clip on either side. Unplug the MAF sensors. Loosen the clamp at the very top of the airbox over there, and then simply pull up from the bottom and pull it away. And repeat the same thing on the opposite side. Next thing I would do is stuff some shop towels in the intake wide tube to prevent any debris from getting into it. Just a little bit so nothing serious can go in. Next up, grab a T30 torque screw and start removing the torque screws for the ignition coils. There are 8 of them, obviously, 4 on each side, and 2 screws per coil. Be sure not to lose them in the engine bay, as if you drop them, they will get lost. Press down the tab at the back of the connector over here. It'll slide it off after you click, and you can simply pull up on the coil very gently. Hear a pop, and here it comes. Repeat this process 7 times, of course, as there are 8 cylinders. The ignition coils at the very back of the engines on either side are kind of hard to get to with the screws, so be very wary of that. Use a magnetic tool if you can, and also for the spark plugs themselves, you'll need to use a swivel socket, but I'll show you guys that in a second. Next up, remove your spark plugs. Take your 14mm spark plug socket with a perfect extension like this, and of course some sort of ratchet. Use a 3/8" drive with an extension on it. Works out pretty well. There we go. Here's what my old spark plug looks like. This is about 50,000 miles on the same spark plugs. Not great, but also not awful if it'll focus, but yeah. For installation of your new spark plug, which I have over here, also NGK, the exact same model of the spark plug I had that came out. Just use it in by hand, like so, with an extension. That's what I'm doing at least. And be very gentle with it and don't cross through. That is the worst thing you can possibly do. That'll cause you a lot of damage. For the plugs in the corner, like the ones kind of back there and also back there, you may want to use a swivel socket like this in between your extension and your spark plug socket. It'll make things a lot easier. The things are kind of hard to get to, so by having this little swivel in there, just by pulling them out and inserting it back in, you'll have a lot better time with that. While these plugs are pre-gapped from NGK, I do recommend to check the gap. They should be around 0.04 inches, although the tolerance is about 0.039 to 0.041 inches, so just get a feeler gauge and make sure it's in the right area. With the plugs all hand tight now and properly gapped, just want to let you guys know, each one of my 8 spark plugs is already pre-gapped to 0.04 without an issue whatsoever, but I still would check it just to be sure. We can now torque down the spark plugs to between 15 and 18 foot-pounds of torque. I'll go right in the middle at 16.5. Now, before reinstalling your coil packs, you're going to want to use some dielectric grease on the rubber boots at the very end of them. Just a tiny bit with a Q-tip. I'll show you guys real quick how much I put. Then we can reinstall the coil packs, and we should be all set and finish up this job. Take a very little bit, kind of like so. Not that much. That should be good. End of the boot over here. Just kind of on the edges. On the inside, do not go all the way down. Just the top part should be enough, and I would say that's good. Keep in mind there's probably going to be some old grease as well in this boot already from the old spark plug, so putting a little bit should be plenty. Now we can slide this guy right back into place. Get our T30 torque screws and just put them in by hand. Nothing super tight, just get them tight with your ratchet. Reconnect the plug, just simply press on, you'll click. There it is, and now repeat that process 7 times. Alrighty, and many cramped up fingers later, we're all done, All T30 Torque screws are back in each of the ignition coils with all of our spark plugs in, especially in that corner over there, that side of the engine with the bottom screws I had to use. This little extension over here with the swivel socket, 1/4 inch drive, 1/4 inch ratchet with this T30 socket at the end of it. Made things a lot easier for sure, so I recommend doing the same if you have those tools. Also, before you put your air boxes back, I recommend taking them apart, just T20 screws all the way around, taking the lid off, cleaning out your air boxes, taking the dust out of your filters can go a long way, especially out of the car. Also, you can spray down your MAF with some MAF cleaner while they're out. And yeah. Well guys, I hope this video helped you out, and if it did, consider leaving a like and subscribe for more content like this, whether it be ML stuff, M156 stuff, C63 stuff, BMW stuff. I do a lot of weird things. But yeah, check it out.